That's going to be great. I was going to be like, I hope it's recording you at that moment, because those are going to be great. But anyways.
Well, it's because I always get this woman that's like, you are now being recorded. And then it's funny because you don't hear it, so you start talking, and she's like, the whole time you're talking. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, hi everyone. It is another episode of Paranormal, and it's gonna be a two-parter. So but anyways, I am your host, Rachel, and your other host is.
I was telepathically telling people, but if you aren't telepathic and you don't have the gift, I am Kaz.
Oh my, that was a good one. That was a good one. That's so good. Oh my gosh. Well, before we get into the episode, there's not much going
on. Well, yesterday was paranormal.
Yeah, National Paranormal
Appreciation Day. Yeah. How was it at the cemetery?
Dead. It was, the frogs were out, so of course, what did it remind me of? Dinsdale. And
yep.
Then that was pretty much it. There wasn't much else. It was pretty quiet. I think we got a hold of the caretaker, but he didn't want us there. So yeah.
Oh.
That's pretty much it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. And then so so at least we celebrated it doing something creepy.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And we've got some upcoming investigations, and since this will be aired on next Sunday, so a week from this Sunday, like today, which will be Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Yes.
But it will also be the day after Paula from the Paranormal Seekers. Her birthday's on May 9th. So we're actually taking her to the Beck House in Penetanguishene for her birthday to spend the night and get a little creepy on.
Exciting.
Oh, and you're not coming, which sucks.
I know. And I have yet to be there.
Yeah, I have Leanne's coming though.
Oh, that's good. That's her first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And Leanne is also coming to Lang's. She's booked it off.
Good.
Now we have everybody we need, so we're good. But yeah.
Excellent.
So let's hop right into this little subject. So I think this episode, and the next episode will probably be about 45 minutes each, part 1 and part 2. So that way you're not, your ears aren't bleeding by the time we're done. But yeah, today's episode it's all about psychics and mediums and frauds. I'm gonna throw that in there because there's a lot of them out there.
Sure are.
Psychic abilities and all that kind of stuff. Which I have none of, so I have no idea what I'm really talking about. I'm just regurgitating information that I've been told.
Yeah, well, it can be confusing because the word psychic and medium get thrown around a lot. They're not necessarily interchangeable. I mean, from what I kind of know, all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums. So it really depends on the person's abilities and what it is that they are sensing or interpreting as to where their titles lie. So psychics are more like intuition and like a person's past, present, future, and things like that. Whereas a medium is connecting basically to spirit and channeling different entities and energy. So there's clairvoyance, which are along the lines of psychic, I guess.
I got all the clairs here.
Good, because
I had to look them up.
Yes, I Googled it really quickly and was like, oh, crap. Because there's like a lot of clairs, a lot of different ones, which makes sense. I know when I was doing
It goes with all
my,
your senses. So like
it does.
sight, sound, taste, smell. Though I
Mhm.
really don't think I want, what is it called? Clairgustance, which is which is a clear sense of taste. For example, being able to orally detect psychic information.
Like, okay.
Okay,
Imagine you're
true
like,
story.
I'm an oral psychic. I'm sorry, what?
This is not
I
OnlyFans.
I taste the spirits. Okay, thanks for coming out. We're gonna have we'll get back to you.
Oh my god.
Um, I'm channeling someone who tastes like barbecue.
Tacos! Tacos! Oh my god.
Yeah,
This might get us in trouble. Anyways,
yeah.
but yeah, so like from what I've been told or what I've read, and in the past, God knows how many years I've been doing this, a psychic is someone that can look into the future and see the past and your present.
Hmm.
And the medium is someone who can connect to your loved ones and see the past, but can't necessarily predict the future.
Yep.
But again, psychic predictions for the future are not set in stone, right? So it's just like you could go to a psychic and they could say, oh, tomorrow you're going to get the dream job you've always wanted and blah, 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 blah. Because that's what they see at that time. You could leave that psychic reading and go kick a stone and it goes down, the wrong side of the street and everything's changed.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Exactly. Or they're being suggestive and planting the seed, and then you go and do it. I remember many, many, many years ago, my ex-sister-in-law went to see Sylvia Brown. Remember her?
what? Oh my God.
Yeah. And so she was one of the, so because at this time Sylvia Brown was so popular, there was like a lottery, and if they picked your seat number, you actually get to go and ask her a question. So they picked my ex-sister-in-law's seat number, and she went up and I think she asked a question of like, what am I going to do with my life or whatever. And Sylvia Brown was like, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to work with children. And at that time, my ex-sister-in-law was like, I fucking hate children. She's like, I don't think so. But then suddenly went down a path where she became an EA and helped out at a Montessori school and worked with children.
Mhm.
So was that always her fate, or was that seed planted and then she just found herself following along? We
That's a good
will
question.
never
I
know.
don't know. That's Sylvia Brown was.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I used to watch her all the time on Montel Williams.
On
My grandma
Montel.
was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
She bought all her books, so I have a whole bunch
Mhm.
of Sylvia Brown books. Like
She
some of them are really
every time she was on Montage, she'd be like, I gotta know. And then she like, I don't know. I don't know how many packs of smoke she smoked a day, but she's like,
I know.
packs and shit. Like,
I
holy
know.
shit.
But she got in a lot of trouble. Like she's told, like in the States, like up here, people know. I don't know how many people know about it, but in the States, there was a kidnapping many, many years ago of a girl named Amanda Berry, and she told Amanda Berry's mom that she was dead. Well, we all know how that turned out. She wasn't dead. They found her like what 17 something years later. Her
Hmm.
and two other girls that were kidnapped. So yeah, but she predicted that
Well,
she was dead in some water somewhere. So yeah.
she helped out. Didn't she help out with that Cecilia Jean? She told the police where her body was. I'm sure it was
What?
her. Remember decades ago now.
Yeah, I remember that up here. Yeah,
Okay, so she was kidnapped in Toronto.
Yeah.
And they could not find her, and her body was in the bottom of like a ravine. Ironically, at the top of that ravine sits a cemetery where young Kaz and her BFF at the time went and did a paranormal walk around one night, and I had a tape recorder, and we captured this amazing EVP of this young girl going, look around you. It's so clear and it's really creepy. And we didn't hear it at the time. It wasn't until we played it back. So we later found out at the bottom of that ravine is where they found her body,
Oh,
which was
shit.
nowhere near where her house was. And so how Silver Brown knew. But this was the thing. When Silver Brown started out, she was really good and she was working with the police and she was great. And then all of a sudden she was bullshit. And I'll never forget the day on Montal where this woman stood up and said, I was here X amount of time ago and was pregnant, and you told me I was having a girl, but I had a boy. And Silver Brown was like, you were having a girl, but she wasn't strong, so then she turned into a boy, or some fucking shit like that. And even Montel was like, bitch, what? It was the
My God.
stupidest thing I'd ever heard. And I was like, really?
Now I want to go watch these all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Find them on
It was-
YouTube and watch them.
And like people ask stupid questions like, is my loved one happy on the other side? Who's going to be like, nah, bitch, they're burning in hell. Like, no one's going to sit. They're going to be like, oh, yes, they've met up with their loved ones and they're all
Yeah.
singing kumbaya. Like,
Yeah.
these are not the questions to ask. What a waste of a
No.
question.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's
And
true.
she was just like, she just got shittier and shittier as she went on. And then her son
I think-
became a psychic.
And I think
all of
a lot
sudden.
of these like reality show, TV show psychics, and there's a lot of them out there. Teresa Caputo, there's like Tyler Henry,
John
or whatever.
Edwards. What happened with him?
He's still around. He was doing a show in Toronto the other day.
Well, because he had that show on TV, and then all of a sudden someone called bullshit and he was just gone.
Yeah. See, and I think a lot of it too is the fame and the money get to their head. And if they can't perform to how they were performing the first few times that they did it, people stop seeing them because they're not, doing what they saw them do, right? Like it's just that it's the sensationalization. Again, it's no different than the paranormal shows, right? So
exactly. I literally was having this conversation with my good friend earlier today. We were talking about abilities and such. And so when I was going through my energy healing training, I was getting really good with I don't know, I don't label whatever. So with my abilities, whatever. And then it went to my head. And as soon as that happened and my ego went up, my abilities went down. And literally my spirit guides were like, we're teaching you a lesson because there's no room for ego here. And for a while, I couldn't sense anything. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to like reel it back in and then build it up again. And you're right. I think that's what happens. There is no room for ego here. You're channeling stuff. So it should just be that you are an open sort of vessel to receive. And as soon as you start, I'm better than everyone else. If it's not for me, the rest of you wouldn't
been
be
witness to that a few times. But anyway.
So if, when that starts to happen, you'll notice that person gets shittier. And then they start to grasp at straws. Because just like the paranormal shows where they have to fabricate stuff or overly embellish stuff to get ratings, it's the same, I believe, with people who have abilities. The moment they start to get all like, then nope, it's done. And sometimes, weirdly enough, so when I've done a reading for someone and they're like, none of this resonates with me, I'm like, I don't know, take it with you. And then next time I see them, they're like, holy shit. At the time, it didn't make sense. And then all of a sudden, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how it works because I'm a dud.
And I don't know either.
I just get, I guess, attachments and then people tell me about them because I don't know. I get weird dreams.
I know. I can't wait to get into your dream.
We should do an episode on dreams. Strange shit that happens.
Yes.
Because like, could they be considered psychic, or could they be considered like mediumistic dreams, not premonitions? Like, oh my god, like I'm just gonna go here. Many years ago, like I don't know, probably 10 or so. And don't ask me how I could remember this, because for the fact, I had a dream, and it was me, and I was investigating like this like large building. I want to say it was like a school or like a prison cafeteria. I don't know, but they had like the benches with like the picnic table benches.
Yep.
And I remember sitting down at one, and this is going to sound so stupid, but I remember the Ghost Adventures coming in. So Zach and Aaron, and this was with Nick too, right? So this is, we're talking years ago. And they came in and they sat down, and I remember them, was it Zach said to me something along the lines of, you have no idea you are going to go so far. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I woke up. Don't ask me how I remember this shit. But
wow.
I went far.
Well, there you go.
But
yeah.
So I don't know if that would be considered like mediumistic, psychic. I don't know. But it was just a dream. Some weird ass dream that I was probably watching too much TV. Wasn't eating crackers that time.
Were you eating crackers the second time you had a dream about Hinsdale?
No. Oh wait, maybe. They're still there. The box is still here beside me.
Tonight you must eat crackers and then record what happens.
Cheez-Its.
Oh, Cheez-Its are so good. And again, it goes to, it's like that saying, if you decide you're going to buy a red Mercedes, all you will see is red Mercedes everywhere all of a sudden, because now you've honed in on something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go and see a psychic and they're like, well, you're going to meet a man who's tall, dark, and handsome, is that planting a seed then? So now you focus on it and that's why it comes into fruition? Or do they actually see that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. And I love like tarot cards, and sometimes they do them, but they're so open to interpretation. It is all about how you feel at that time. Have you ever seen the thing with Chris Angel where he pretends to be a psychic medium, and he's like, there's like 3 or 4 things you just say and every single person will relate to it. So he's like, I feel like you've gone for a big change. And they're like, oh my God, you've gone for a big change. Or he'll be like, I feel like there's someone that you love that you miss. And they're like, I love her, I miss my grandma. And he's like, she's here right now. And it's like, he's like, you just have to read their cues and you ask very basic questions. He's like, if they're old enough, you can be like, did you lose a grandparent? And they'll be like, yes, I lost a grandparent. Of course you did, because you're fucking 70. Like, it would be very rare that someone's like, no, they're still alive and healthy. So and if they say that,
that's cold reading.
You say, right. And if they were like, no, I haven't lost a grandparent, he's like, is it someone like a grandparent? Or he'd be like, yeah, I figured that would be what it is. I'm just feeling very connected to them, like some bullshit. So it's very open-ended. And
it's like saying, oh, I feel like somebody in here has a male family member that has passed.
Yep. Or you go, I'm hearing Larry, Barry, Harry, Terry, Ari, Barry, Carrie, Derry, Ari, and then someone goes, Murray. Yep.
Personal experience.
So it's like things like that happen.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, you've lost credibility.
I've seen a lot of them do. I've seen a lot. Being around doing this for 21 years, I've seen a lot of psychics. I've seen a lot of mediums, a lot of sensitives, a lot of empaths, and people who prey on other people. I've seen
that woman in Whitby who like scammed 50 G's off that woman.
Yeah. And that's not the first time. Like literally, Kate, might get in trouble for saying this too, but I don't care. This is how I feel. Just like I think lipsticks are whores.
Let's be rebels.
If you have to advertise your psychic abilities with a neon sign, you're not a psychic. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I believe that in everything we do, there has to be an exchange of some kind, give and take. So, because when I was learning Reiki and energy healing, one
Mhm.
of the things that comes up is, should we charge people for this?
Mhm.
And so the idea is that there must be an exchange. I'm providing healing energy to you, so you must in return give something to me. There has to be a balance and there has to be an exchange. It doesn't have to be money. It could be, I give you a energy healing session, and in return, you're gonna bake me,
Mhm.
supper or whatever it is. But there has to be an exchange. And in today's society, that exchange usually comes in the form
Yeah.
of money, and that's
Yeah.
why. Now, if people are charging $2,000 for a reading, I don't know. Like, that's what Sylvia, she was charging insane amounts of money.
It was
Her
awful.
her son is like $1,200. There's a massive
Said
wait
nothing.
list. Like Teresa
Caputo.
Shapiro. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on her abilities. I mean, she seems cool, but
Mhm.
I think she charges an insane amount of money.
They all do. All of these celebrity psychics do.
Yes. And so
It's,
again, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that, because I do appreciate
yeah.
that, when you specialize in something, you should be receiving your worth or your value. Um, so I don't know. I just find, where is it extortion?
Mm.
Because
When
now
they're
we're dealing
making
with
you,
people who are grieving and they're desperate.
yeah.
They're going to pay this money. To
Mhm.
me, it's a bit shitty. But
Yeah.
if I got to that level, would I? I don't know. If I could charge people and they would pay it, I don't know. It ethically, it's shit. It is
Yeah.
shit. And if you have a gift like this, especially when it comes to sort of like energy healing and things,
Mhm.
however good you are to, when people are desperate and vulnerable,
Yeah.
it's just shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sorry, there's no magic love potion out there that you're going to pay $1,500 for and then followed by another 3 grand to make somebody love you or banish the demon that somebody is placing
Right.
on you. Like I'm sorry. Stick of sage.
I'm gonna say this right now, and people can do with it what they want. Curses and hexes only exist if you believe they exist.
Mhm.
That's it. If you believe in it and someone says, I've cursed you, and then everything that happens, you go, it's because of the curse, then it's because of the curse. If you just go, it's bullshit, and
Mhm.
don't believe in it, then
Yep.
there we go. That's my opinion. So, I
I agree.
mean,
I agree with that 100%.
yeah.
Totally do because if
I,
you, it's the same thing with paranormal and ghosts and stuff. If you don't believe it, you're never going to have an experience, right?
exactly.
And again, if you're looking too hard for it, you're going to miss all of the stuff that's being shown to you as,
Yes.
proof. It's
Or you'll be like, everything's a ghost. If
yeah.
you're like, I want it to be, then everything will be a ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard when someone is in a really vulnerable spot. If someone's lost someone that they care deeply for and
Mhm.
they are so heartbroken, they just want to speak to them again, and they find someone who repeatedly asks them for money, and they go there.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
a shame. And there are
We'll post
really,
some of those stories that made the
yeah,
news and all that on our Instagram and stuff. Oh my gosh, I gotta.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll post some of those so people can have a warning of who and what not to believe.
yeah,
Sometimes the
exactly.
shit just blows my mind, and
I
not in the
know.
good kind of way. It's always the what the fuck were you thinking?
I know. And it's because people are in a state of grief and sadness, and they're desperate, and that's when they get preyed upon. So
Mhm.
I can understand why someone, if someone's taken from you really quickly and you didn't get a chance to say goodbye or anything, and you're heartbroken like a child. I think, God forbid my children ever go before me. I would be devastated. And I
Mhm.
would honestly, if someone tells me they could talk to them, of course, I'd be like, give you all my fucking money that I can talk to my child again. So I get why people do it. It's just shit that there are pieces of shit out there that prey on those people.
Yeah. And there are more bad than good, which is the sad part,
Yeah.
right? Because anybody could just post. Like here in Canada, it's not illegal to be a psychic and to have a business doing psychic readings. It is
Mm,
illegal if you charge people money and don't take taxes and send it to the government. But there's nothing here that says otherwise. Like it's not considered
mhm,
witchcraft and it's not considered, a bylaw offense or a criminal offense, right? Like if you fraud people out of their money and scam them and you get caught, then it becomes a criminal offense. Different
yeah.
story. But there's so many here. Like if you were just to Google search, so many of them pop up.
But the sad thing is, you can kind of skirt around it by putting a disclaimer,
Yeah.
which is, I don't
Entertainment
claim to
purpose.
be, and yeah, exactly. So then you are basically ridding, any liability. And
Mhm.
that's the sad part when you're when you can be like, oh, I can't promise you anything.
Mhm.
Um, that's the thing. It's like when a surgeon makes you sign a thing being like, well, I could totally fuck you up and kill you, but it's not my fault.
There's
And you
only a
have to,
small chance, but I have to get you
yeah,
to sign it. Yeah.
you have to sign it. And then if something happens, they're like, well, you signed the thing. So
Yeah.
that's how you kind of get it. But
Yeah.
it is a shame.
It is. And like in the past, the Paranormal Seekers have had psychics and mediums on the team, and they have been tremendous. Some of them have not been so great. We had one who claimed to be a psychic, and
Hmm.
this person listened to everything that another psychic medium on the team was saying and then regurgitated it as their own.
Oh dear.
And they got caught. Promptly removed from the team. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was a real, yeah. So like I said, I've seen everything from the good to the bad to the downright ugly. Um,
Yeah.
now psychics and mediums on paranormal teams. Let's talk about that.
Mhm.
Does a paranormal team might have, like, it is like a number one requirement to have a paranormal like a medium or psychic as a member of the team?
Are you asking me if that's a
Yeah.
requirement?
Do you think it's a requirement?
No,
Good.
not at all.
Think so either. Okay, because
No.
some people think, as a paranormal team, you should have every aspect, and we look at every aspect, but we have guests, right?
Yeah,
Because sometimes they get a little too comfortable, and then it becomes their show.
exactly. Yeah.
But I don't think having one as a full-time team member is a necessary thing,
No.
right? So,
No, because there's not necessarily a guarantee that just because we had a psychic or a medium, it's going to change anything. At
no.
the end of the day, we're investigators. We're not going in to try and prove is that the paranormal is present in this place. We're just going in to investigate,
Mhm,
document, and report on our findings in an unbiased way. So if we have a psychic or medium on our team and they start going, there's all these spirits here, do we then base our investigation on what they're saying?
mhm,
And sometimes that's where it's tricky to vet someone, because if we have someone on the team who's saying this, we want to believe in them.
mhm.
But then do we base our findings on what they're saying? Like, it's hard. And
Yeah.
so that's where I love that we have a mix of people who are don't have abilities, people that have different sort of abilities. And none of us in the group that we have now challenge each other or get offended if someone has an ability that's stronger than the other one.
Or is able to
Or
connect to something that the
exactly,
other person is not,
exactly.
right? Like,
And that's the thing where we're all so different.
mhm.
And sometimes, like let's say when Allison, Jay, and I are in a place, and Jay will be like, I'm feeling this really strong thing right now. I'm like, I don't feel fucking anything. Is it because the spirit is attached to him? Is it because of his mindset in that moment and he's more vulnerable? Is it because I'm not tuned in? Who
Yeah.
knows? And so that's where it's great. And that's where I appreciate everyone on the team because, like, I think I can speak for everyone on the team, but I know for myself, I don't bullshit anything. If I'm saying stuff, it's because I'm feeling it, seeing it, hearing it, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm not going to go, oh, they're feeling it, so I better say I feel it, because then I lose all integrity and credibility. So
Mhm.
if I'm not feeling it, I'm going to say it. Or if I am feeling something and everyone else is like, nothing's here, I don't feel anything, I'm going to say it as well. And I believe everybody on the team is the same. And
Mhm.
they say things like that.
Unless you're
So,
me, and I just don't feel nothing anytime. So I'm just whatever.
but sometimes you'll there
Sometimes.
the place that shall not be named, you were like, "Ooh, I feel something really weird next to me," and then all the lights lit up. So you did feel something then, maybe
Yeah.
not to an extent of wherever, but again, my point is when we say stuff, we believe each other,
Yeah.
and no one's jumping on a bandwagon. I don't feel like there's people on the team that are just bullshitting stuff. And if Allison comes in and she's all like, oh, and she's summoning the fucking gods of wherever, and she's really connecting, and it's boom, 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 and things
Yeah.
are. I I don't think there's anyone in the team that's like, I don't like this. Like we're like, holy shit! Like
Yeah.
it's just
Or
great
you
that
or you
that's
have
happening.
Ryan, or you have Ryan who's like, I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah. He's like, I knew you would do this. Ah! Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's it's a really good dynamic.
Yeah.
And having a guest person sometimes works to that benefit because, like you said, they haven't got all comfy, but we run the risk of also not knowing them as well.
Mhm.
And we have to still kind of take what they say with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, so I don't look into places before I get to anywhere. So if I'm saying stuff, it's because I'm just seeing it and feeling it. Is there a possibility that anyone on the team Google stuff really quickly and it's like, okay, let's see. Of course. But I think we all know each other well enough and trust each other.
Mhm.
And that's a really important part when it comes to the
Mhm.
dynamic of any group. So whether you have a psychic, medium, clairvoyant, fucking person that licks ghosts or whatever, I don't know, then it really comes down to credibility.
Mhm.
So speaking to any medium psychics or people who feel like they're working on their gifts, at the end of the day, all you have is your integrity and your credibility. And if you don't feel it or see it, don't fake it.
Mhm.
It you will get much further. Like sometimes I have people come to see me because they have a specific thing they want to hear me say. I have one client, she wants a very specific thing and she wants me to say it. And I don't feel it or see it and I won't say it. And she gets frustrated with me and I'm like, "Listen, I don't know what to tell you,
Yeah.
but this is not what I see and feel. And so I'm only ever going to tell you what I see." Could I say to her, yes, it's going to happen? Of course I could, but it would be bullshit and it's not going to happen. And then she'd be like, why did you tell me? And then you lose, once you've lost your reputation, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're fucked
Yeah.
because how do you build that back? I mean,
Exactly.
you might be able to, but it's
And
not worth it.
especially if you're in the public eye. Yes.
Exactly. And something else I will say. So let's say you're a budding psychic medium and you want to go on investigations. And so a paranormal team's like, okay, we're going to take you to Peg Mansion. And you've probably heard of, I don't know, spirits that are there.
Yeah.
Some of those stories are probably bullshit. So if you go in and you're like, I'm not feeling anything, but I'll just be like, oh, there's a lady on the staircase. If you're a great team like us who has an awesome Rachel who researches shit and disproves a lot of the bullshit stories out there, they're going to know that you're full of shit.
Mhm.
And so then again, you just lost all credibility.
Mhm.
So, and sometimes you might pick up on things that weren't even reported. So but say it anyways, feel it,
Mhm.
say it, whatever. Because you just never know. And there might be a time that people can go back and look and be like, oh, actually, there
Yeah.
was this thing that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, fabricating and lying just to try and get the fame. And I get it. It's cool when people are like, oh my God. But it's not worth it in the long run.
No, no,
It's
no.
so not worth it in the long run.
No, it's not. Not at all. Now, for a lot of you guys, if you had just tuned in before, after the, I was going to say the entrance, but anyways, we are doing a two-part because our second part is actually going to be talking to a psychic medium from the Peterborough area. So we're going to discuss things with her and kind of see what she sees for us, because that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I got a
And
few
I think,
questions.
yes,
Well,
we're going to ask
really,
her like the main question that I think everyone wants to know is, how did you become a psychic? How
mhm,
do you do it?
yeah,
I'm excited about that
I know.
because
And
I think for me, I still don't know the ins and outs of it. Sometimes it's really strong and sometimes it's not. And I don't know. Well, I do know, that's a lie. Because I've been told multiple times. My fucking
I
alarm
don't
keeps
know
going off.
shit.
Well, I've been told so many times what I have to do and just don't do the work. So
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah. So I'm just wondering what she could tell me about a certain doctor, because I haven't had anybody tell me anything. So I'm a little interested.
that fucking man,
I'm just
Robert.
all day I've been like, you need to come forward. You need to come forward and tell her
Man,
why. I need to know the why. Tell her the why. Just come forward and tell her the why. If she doesn't, I'm gonna be
it's so
pissed.
good. We need to go back just for that very reason to be
Oh
like,
yeah.
listen up, bitch. What do you want from me?
Yeah,
What do you
exactly.
need? Tell us so we can give it to you. And then
Maybe
he's going to
tonight is the
say,
night I find out the answer. I probably won't, but
but then he's going to say what he said last time, which is the blonde stays here. I want her. She's not going home. That's what he said last time.
listen, if I could live in that house, that I would stay there. I don't care. But
Sorry, Jay. I'm married to a ghost now.
listen, it's been done.
Yeah.
He's not a pirate.
Exactly. Oh, dear.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I guess that's a little quick episode there. We wait
Yeah.
for our guest for part two.
I would love people to comment if they've been to a psychic, what their experience was, and if they've gone to one that they really think is good or one that they think is shit. And we're not trying to call out people here. I'm
Mhm.
not saying we want to like throw hate on people, but it's good to know. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, you
especially
know
if
how
they're
many
really
people
good.
on Facebook always post like, "Oh, I'm looking for a psychic medium or a medium to go to. Do you have recommendations?" This is a perfect
Yeah.
place to recommend and a perfect place to say who you don't recommend. And you can list your
Yeah,
reasons and you can list whys and all of that. It's a safe space as long as you're not bashing people. But
exactly.
if you've had a really good experience or a really bad experience, share it, because everyone would be interested in knowing. And again, if I was going to
Exactly.
go give my money to somebody for a reading, I want to make sure I'm going to somebody that's actually going to give me a reading and not ask
Exactly.
me questions. Because if you come in and ask me questions, I'm no. I will tell you my
Exactly.
first name. That's it.
Yeah. I don't like it when clients come in and they're like, okay, I'm here because no, shut up. I'm like, don't tell me why you're here. Just shut up and get on the table and I'll tell you why you're here. Because it's true. And I'm like, if I start asking you stuff, you have to answer with like really limited things. I don't want you to lead me in any way. Just be like, yes, no, whatever, or don't even answer. I don't care. But I don't want you to give me a long-winded thing, because then you're giving me the answers, and then what am I supposed to do with that? Because then I'm like, yes, you're correct. I was about to say that. And then what do you do? So
I should
exactly.
try to give somebody a reading one day. I bet you'd be like, shit.
I'd love it.
You don't have to pay me anything because it's going to be garbage.
In fact, I'll pay you.
Listen, I could dig dirt up, like you said. I could dig dirt up on Jesus. No.
Damn straight. That man has some shady past,
Yeah.
man. What was he doing for his team? Exactly. There's no date.
I don't know.
So, by the way, we want to throw a shout out to one of our listeners who asked us if we could do an episode on it. We heard you, girl. And yep, we're going to do one.
I've already talked about one in this episode.
Exactly. The blonde one, she's got a groupie. And it's funny when it happens, but not funny, but funny. It's funny because it's not happening to me. And when he shows up, we're like, he watches you when you shower. Okay.
Yeah, that's not, no. I don't even watch myself when I shower. My eyes are closed.
You don't have a mirrored shower? What? That's not normal.
No. Oh my Lord, no.
I know.
Oh my God. But but all your experiences, you can like send us an email at paranormalpodcast@gmail.com. That's PAREHNORMAL podcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram and leave us messages and comments there. Oh, for a second, I forgot the word comment. What the fuck? Anyways, so that's all there. You can find us on TikTok. Yeah, we're everywhere. Everywhere. You froze there for a few seconds and you were like, wait.
Oh my God. Of course. Sakes.
All right. So stay tuned for part 2 because that's coming up right after this. All right. I think
thumbs up.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's going to be great. All right. See you in a bit, guys.
Bye. Bye.